So this next comment comes from DeuceX8576. He says, recently I started to shift from a red pill to a black pill perspective. Not because of insecurity or uncertainty, but because I feel the opposite of what you're saying. The best way for a man to become a better man is to distance himself from women. Women waste your time, waste your resources, and distract you from higher goals. Your goal may be a family and children, but in today's world, that comes with a lot of risk. Each man must decide for themselves whether they're willing to risk ultimately being broken. Personally, I believe the risk isn't worth the reward. So, this comment is really highlighting on this idea that women are something that can hurt you, right? And that's an opinion. That's a perspective that you have chosen to adopt, and I'm going to bet that you've adopted this in response to being hurt by a woman in the past, okay? This is called trauma, and this helps you avoid being hurt again. There's a very real reason why you've adopted this perspective. But the problem is that perspective is going to keep you from ever enjoying the presence of a woman within the context of intimacy ever again, okay? That way of thinking isn't helpful to achieve your goals. And the idea that women are going to slow you down, they're going to waste your resources, or they're going to distract you. A beautiful example that I love is the pimp versus the simp, right? That dichotomy. If you're a simp, well then yes, women do waste your resources, they do take your time, and they do distract you from higher goals. Versus being a pimp, it's the complete opposite. Women give you resources, women give you space and give you time. Women do whatever it takes to help you reach their goals, right? And so really the biggest difference between the pimp and the simp is frame, okay? Frame being the narrative and the ideas that you keep about yourself and about the world that you live in. When you have strong frame, you are going to be the main character in the script that is written by you. You're also going to be the director, and everybody else is going to end up playing the position that you put them into or that you imply they should be playing for you, okay? Having strong frame means that you are pretty much the group leader or the main character. You have the most influence, all right? When you have weak frame, it's going to be the opposite, okay? Having strong frame is more akin to being very masculine, being narcissistic. Having weak frame is going to be more akin to being more submissive, being more feminine, being more borderline, okay? And a good way to look at masculinity and femininity are strong frame and weak frame is narcissism and borderline. When you're narcissist, you almost end up being, again, like the main character. You decide what it is and how people are going to behave. When you're borderline, you end up playing whatever role that you are put into, okay? Almost like your water. You pour water into a container, it's going to take that shape. You want to be the person dictating the shape, okay? And that may mean, I'm not advising you to start prostituting women. By no means am I saying that. But that may mean you may tell a woman that her job is just to go make you money. And that's your relationship. And she will happily do so if you have a little bit of charisma and you have strong frame, all right? But in order to develop that strong frame, that is going to it's going to require you to change the way that you think about yourself, the way that you think about women. Instead of seeing them as potentially dangerous, you should start to see them as something that is more akin to an asset rather than a liability, okay? There are certain ways of thinking which will produce different results inside of your life, and adopting better and newer mental models that don't necessarily have to be 100% true, they just have to change your behavior. Because if you do the right behavior, you are going to get a certain reward, okay? It's almost like you're doing a signal, right? If you say the right thing, you're going to get the right response. If you say the wrong thing, you're going to get the wrong response, right? There is a certain way to order food at a drive-thru. If you want to get a Big Mac, you're not going to ask them for a hash brown. That's just not the correct signal. You need to change the way that you think in order to do the signals which are going to get you the things that you want out of this universe, right? Out of this world, out of this society, whatever word really floats your boat. But at the end of the day, Whatever it takes for you to say the right words, to mimic the right body language, to adopt that behavior, your personal ethos, whatever it takes for you, right? If that means that all women are whores and they love dick, then that's what it is. I don't necessarily believe that, and not believing that works for me, but maybe that's what it takes for you in order to go up to a woman and start to be a little bit more sensual or seductive when you're talking to her, all right? But at the end of the day, this idea that women are to be avoided and that you should just stay by yourself, right? It's not necessarily productive, and it doesn't really lead to a very fulfilling lifestyle. All right. If you got anything good out of this, like, comment, subscribe, check the link in the description below. You're going to find an online community filled with other single men who are working on improving their dating skills and developing frame. It's completely free. And if that sounds like something that you'd be interested in, check it out down below. That's all I have for you guys.